This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabay sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabay has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Looking for entertainment everyone will love? TiVo Plus has you covered with over 300 free channels. From movies for family night to kids shows, live news, sports, and your favorite TV series all in one place. No sign-ups, no credit card required. Just turn on and enjoy. And with new channels and fresh content added all the time, there's always something to watch. TiVo Plus. Free, binge-worthy, and always on. Check us out at TiVo.com.
Okie dokie. 8 quarterbacks make that 3-2. Okie dokie. 8 quarters of football played. 7 haven't been great for the offense, which has to be working on the head coach's last nerve. Seeking fan reaction to all the action. Well, of course, after the game, I hit Vikings fan line while sweating Minneapolis traffic in hopes of a safe landing to the west side of the metro, no diggity. Good morning. I knew when the conversation between an Eric Nordquist and a Ron Johnson morphed into talk about grilling meat, Nordo scoffing at Ron Johnson smoking just bacon and hot dogs on a high-end machine, and spatchcocking, it was being deemed as a really rough night at the office for the Minnesota Vikings. Classic throwback unis were super sweet, but throwing it back to, like, 1962, that team that scored fewer than 12 points 5 times and was shut out once, probably not the design when celebrating the 60s and 70s.
I always love that one.
No, I don't always love that one. Raising kids can be hard. That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a text last night late in the game saying, quote, JJ's either helpless or hopeless, end quote. That hit. I get a lot of text messages during
that was from me, by the way,
the course of executing my toil. And I invite them. I mean, there'll be some FaceTimes in the mix and everything just to stay as one with Minnesota Vikings Nation. But there was one that came in last night that hit really hard. JJ's either helpless or hopeless. End quote. And good morning. What triggered that?
Yeah, that's how I felt last night, PA, during underlying conversations and situations or circumstances that in some ways leading up to a game we can dismiss.
Yep.
Just like special teams and the punt return, kick return situation into the season. Special teams means nothing until it means absolutely everything.
Right.
And I'm not focused on the miles. Muff felt like the perfect way to end last night's game. In fact, in some ways, just I'm cool with that, Miles, and we'll learn and we'll get past it.
Special teams, we had a stalwart last night. Let's get this out of the way.
He ain't heaven.
Nice job, bud.
Yeah.
He's a punter.
He had a terrific night last night. 51 average. We gave him enough opportunities to bounce him inside the 20. He was doing his job.
Thank you.
The plus-size punter was doing his job. For me, helpless and hopeless. Hopeless at times because we weren't just seeing, decision-making a little off, or he had to try and make that play. He had to try and fit it in there. We saw some bad throws from the kid QB last night. We saw some decisions that were not preferred. That's hopeless, needs to get better. On the helpless side of things, PA, talking about things we might dismiss into a game until it means everything. Several calls and a couple of text messages about this being a roster to win now. We're moving into 2025, PA. The work that we did to rebuild the trenches on both sides of the ball, free agency in play, Kwesi doing his thing, and we have a roster that is built to win now. Well, I'd like to see that freaking roster, PA.
Same.
I'd like to see the starting left tackle.
Yeah, I was missing Van Ginkel last night because I like him.
I'd like to see the starting center. Last week it was a toe. Sadly, this week it's a concussion. Juergens, though. How about the Juergens? He faked that. He's so sneaky. He faked out the rest of the entire offense by just not snapping the ball.
He hasn't played much. Give him Rouse in there. One play, gave up a sack, got better. Give them a chance.
Van Ginkel not in the mix. Cashman gone for 4. I do want to give a minor tip cap to Eric Wilson, who I think through 2 games has been splashy and a difference maker and has taken advantage of the opportunity, albeit, again, not our starter. How about the borderline Hall of Fame safety not in the mix through 2 games? And how could that have potentially changed things, bringing him up and potentially being somebody to work on Bijan and work on Algier, who got everything any freaking time they wanted? Dallas Turner, splashy with the sack. How good was he getting off individual blocks to impact the run? That's up for discussion. I think we got Bursich on later. I'll ask him about it. This roster that is built to win now. Oh, by the way, JJ's favorite target throughout camp, Jordan Addison, still going to miss him for another week. So this roster that is built to win now, protecting the QB, keeping him upright, giving him time. Because when he had time, he was doing stuff like hitting Justin Jefferson for 50 yards to get the field goal before half. When the kid had time, we saw some nice plays. So helpless at times and hopeless at times. That has summed up for me 7 of the 8 quarters of Vikings football, specifically with the offense.
9 sacks of J.J. McCarthy in 2 games, including 6 yesterday. And with respect, the majority of the second half with Rouse at left tackle, a rookie at left guard, centers played just 3 games, and the 1-2 Jones-Mason trick down to 1 with Jones and his hammy. That's probably not the best assemblage of help to surround somebody learning on the fly. Norder laid that out quite eloquently. And you can't miss the Naylor 72.
Oh, my goodness.
But everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Raising kids can be tough. You can't miss the Naylor 72. And by the way, this just kind of shows you how the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's just the ways and means become rearranged. Jalen Naylor was mediocre to nothing special during training camp. Then they had the joints and he hurt his hand or his arm or something. Jalen Naylor's playing his tail off right now.
Yeah.
Holy cow, Jalen Naylor looks really, really good in the mostly in the run blocking bit too.
I'll say we saw that last year though, PA, and I just hope that carries on throughout whenever we need him. I know Addison's coming back, but I think he had a touchdown in the first 3 consecutive games of the season. It wasn't really until the muffed punt at Lambeau or maybe the worm turned. He had a drop against the Rams in primetime, big 3rd down. Could have been a touchdown. He drops that. But Naylor in some of these games, I get it, lowly drafted, and we're all excited for AT-19, lifting the lid at U.S. Bank Stadium when he was introduced. I think Jalen could play. And whatever connection or chemistry or lack thereof that took place in camp, Naylor showed up. Naylor was in the right spot. Big time 3rd and 1 from your own 28. You need to beat your guy. That's what Naylor did. Should have been a 72-yard touchdown.
Just because T.J. Hawkinson built up his body to better help with the runs and protections doesn't mean he has to be completely forgotten in the throwing game.
Yeah.
I mean, completely forgotten in the throwing game. The potential narrative, and I think I might have heard a little of this on FanLine or read it on the social media machine. The potential narrative Jefferson is going to sour on the kid quarterback because Jefferson's numbers haven't been exponential is potentially misguided. Justin Jefferson loves J.J. McCarthy. He'll support him, and he will help him grow along this raising a kid journey. Always, and speaking of FanLine, it's we'll get it here with talkbacks sometimes, or Nordo handles the 64686 with the email, so I never see them. But I would imagine some come through there. And this is FIFA, Fairness and FanLine Act, but Nordo's been to handling school. He knows how to handle things. Here's what I mean. It's always cool when snarky Green Bay Packers fans infiltrate the FanLine covenant with talkbacks being like, quote, when do you clean house with O'Connell and Kwesi in this group?
I always love that one.
I'm listening to that after I got out of that zipper by 394. I'm like, nobody's that dumb, right? So the wild turkey still must be resonating from Thursday.
I always love that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how to handle this, PA, and maybe you can tell me. Where it is the balance of, this is two freaking games, man. We knew that the kid who's not a rookie but is technically a rookie because he was injured a year ago, cool opportunities to be in meeting rooms and hold clipboards and have the little mic in your ear from the sideline while you look at the Microsoft Surface. Maybe learning through osmosis, certainly, but still getting his first reps in the NFL. We knew there were going to be growing pains. But you still, and I felt it really reverberating from FanLine last night, you still believe in the coach who made a decision to roll with 9 instead of potentially 12 and potentially Darnold and or flirting with old number 8 who's down in Atlanta right now and was sitting on the bench for the visiting Falcons.
And Danny Dimes is $1.
And Danny Dimes, are you kidding with what he's done through 2 weeks?
Dimes is $1.
He absolutely is. So I think you're balancing. Yeah, we knew there were going to be growing pains. I didn't know there was going to be 9 freaking sacks and 3 picks and a missed fumble and the helplessness and the hopelessness of an operation 7 out of 8 quarters through 2 games. And so do you need to clean house? That's preposterous. That is clearly, you can smell the cheese on the breath of that talkback digitally. But balancing, yeah, we knew it was going to be a struggle and it was going to be interesting. We'd have weird times, good times, bad times. But man, the coach put a lot of stock in this, and if we do indeed eventually get to see a roster that can win now, it's got to be better than what we saw on Sunday night at US Bank Stadium.
7 of 8 quarters of offense that is not to the standard of a Super Bowl winning head coach. Kevin O'Connell joins 9 to noon tomorrow from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center for that marathon chat that we call X's and O's, so don't miss that. It is a weekly piece. Nordo will be by my side. He's Mad Producer 1. Will be at the Vikings facility tomorrow. There's a chance from an emotional standpoint as we pull the host of Vikings Fan Line and producer of 9 to noon off the sword.
Yeah.
He'll lay on a sword for the purple and gold.
I will.
Let's pull him off the sword. Tell me they don't win 3 in a row. Go ahead.
On a Monday morning, I'm not ready to predict 3 in a row.
Tell me they don't beat Jake Browning. They never lose in Europe. And then they get...
Good point.
I mean, the Columns teams, it's yeah. So tell me they don't win 3 in a row. Hey.
Well, first of all, that's the insanity of what we're seeing. Because, and I don't know what the plan is. I thought Darisaw might play week 1. And then I was almost absolutely sure 71 would be back last night, and he was not. If Darisaw comes back on Sunday,
yeah,
and you can mitigate the Trey Hendrickson issue, that will, School versus Hendrickson.
Yeah, Trey has a sack in each of the first 2 games, and the Bengals are undefeated.
But if that comes, that's how quickly this can change. In my mind at this stage, I don't believe that McCarthy's going to roll out there and just suddenly switch on a dime, and he's going to throw for 350 and 4 against the Bengals. But just some little things. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of people, and I was focused on it last night, the decision to punt late in the 4th. And it felt in some way, that just wasn't the right decision.
It was. I like how you put it last night. I think you called it a pity punt.
A little bit of a pity punt. And the going for it on the first possession, PA, that felt to me as if the coach, not disrespecting the Falcons, not feeling his oats in the home opener in primetime. I think there was part of it where he needed to keep McCarthy and the Vikings offense on the field. Like, I think that was a moment where, if you look at the history of him as head coach here, it's been about scoring fast. It's been about high-end offense out of the gates. It's just like when in radio, we have a good first segment, PA, that can really set the table for an entire show.
There's no doubt.
When you have a great first drive on offense, that can set the table for the entire game, and vice versa. When you flip that, and the frustration that from all those 3 and outs in the opener to then, and sadly, what we saw last night, I just wonder if part of that where scoring on opening possessions, finding rhythm early. KO had talked about getting easy passes. I know I can get J.J. McCarthy 8 to 10 easy completions or simple completions, and you work beyond that from there. I thought that was a little bit of a gripping move early to say, I can't take them off the field yet. I can't resort or in some ways revert to what we saw on the initial Monday night. So I do believe it's not as easy as just one guy. Darrisaw matters. Love to see Harry in the mix, specifically defensively. I hope Ryan Kelly's okay, et cetera. But I need my kid to have an extra half second behind that line of scrimmage, behind that offensive line, to potentially have a markedly better performance against the Bengals. And if you beat the Cincy Bengals, I think you're very game in those 2 neutral ones over the pond.
He's off the sword.
I'm trying.
He's off the sword.
I'm trying hard.
I always love that.
Trying hard. Give me Darrisaw, please.
Machismo was the operative word in the early stages of that Sunday Night Football L the Minnesota Vikings took to the Atlanta Falcons last night. Machismo. Who wins the toss and takes the ball?
I always love that one.
A team that's like, you're down Cashman, you're down Van Ginkel. We happen to like what we think we can get here, and we're going to put 0 in spots with number 7 to try to make him look like a 0. And
right.
Well, I mean, Bijan was running all over the place. Machismo. They're taking the ball after winning the toss, which nobody does. Machismo. Vikings first possession, 4th and short, plus territory. We're going to go for it. Now, there was a botched exchange there, which definitely played into the equation. But the football is a violent, machismo-laden game. And there was some metaphorical flexing early in the game, trying to draw that proverbial line in the sand, trying to lift that left leg and make the hydrant pay.
I always love that one.
Machismo.
Not by our team, though.
Let's pause. You're listening to the 9 to Noon radio show. What transpires today is courtesy of TimberTech and TimberTech.com. What's on deck includes one guest. It's the analyst, Pete Bursich, in studio, in booth analyst for the Minnesota Vikings audio network. That takes place about an hour from now. We have old school, best school, and new school, best school meshing today. In fact, the first part of the equation happens around the corner. We're going to take phone calls and talkbacks during the course of the show. So the talk with takes place around the corner. The talk to us starts at 10 o'clock. 800-320-5326. 800-320-5326. 800-320-5326. Your day after reaction to all of the L-related action. Come on in and chat with 9 to Noon. Weekend wrap around the corner, followed by Vikes Bites, and then a bunch of talkbacks and phone calls during the course of the radio show today. Cincinnati will be without quarterback Joe Burrow Sunday at noon at U.S. Bank Stadium. He has a swoon over his toe. He has some tumult with his big toe. So he's actually going to miss 3 months of football. Captain Cool out 3 months. That's crappy because he's one of my favorites. But nevertheless, onward, on to Cincinnati this weekend at noon. Weekend wrap with some phone calls around the corner. You're listening to FM 100.3 KFAN. This is the vast and ever-expanding Love Covenant Audio Network.
settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at washablesofas.com. Starting at just $699, our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit washablesofas.com today and save. That's washablesofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Over 300 channels, 0 bills. That's TiVo Plus. Live news, reality, movies, and more. No credit card, no signups. Available on smart TVs powered by TiVo. Grab the remote, press play, and start watching. TiVo Plus. Free, binge-worthy, always on. Learn more at TiVo.com.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Each Apple product, like the iPhone, is thoughtfully designed by skilled designers. The titanium Apple Card is no different. It's laser-etched, has no numbers, and it earns you daily cash on everything you buy, including 3% back on everything at Apple. Apply for Apple Card on your iPhone in minutes. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Fiber.
Yo, what up now? Call 9 to noon, 800-320-5326. We'd love to hear from you. Stretch out on that therapeutic Davenport of love and share some cogent, long-form thought on Minnesota Vikings football. If not, new school, best school, with the talkbacks at about 10 o'clock following Vikes Bites. And good morning, I'm Paul Allen. It is now post time for the weekend wrap, provided by Hoffman Cooling and Heating. Tune that furnace for $59. Tune that furnace for $59. We got some humid, higher temps right now. But Minnesota knows that won't last very long once October hits. So you want to get that furnace tuned so you don't take like some form of furnace-related L when it starts to get cold. Get free service with a qualified repair and work with a wonderful heating and cooling company. HoffmanHeating.net. If you need cooling and or heating guidance of any kind, it's time to wrap, as in the weekend wraps. PJ's bunch is 2-1 with a bye week. Then September 27th hooks Rutgers here. Rutgers, Ethan Kaliakmanis. But before that, there was Saturday night before the Sunday L. And Saturday, the punt return game went Parrish-shaped.
And Parrish stands at around his 15 or so yard line. In fact, they're going to back him up even more than that.
Two things, Mike, worth pointing out on that play. Great job by the defense, the secondary, but also great job by Anthony Smith. Outside leverage, not allowing Sungapur Toy to get on the outside to throw that ball like he had been earlier in the game.
Here's a bit of a poorer kick. It's short, bouncing, and oh no, Parrish tried to pick it up and he lost it, and it's scooped up. It's not a score, but it will be cow ball inside the 10. It bounced and then rolled, and Parrish tried to pick it up and couldn't. And it was scooped up or fallen on by one of the Cal defensive special teams guys. That was Aiden Manitai, their safety.
Hey, Parrish-shaped, and now the team is 2-1 into the bye week. And Ethan Kaliakmanis, remember that name? Well, he's the lead vocalist for the Rutgers offense. 7 touchdowns, 0 picks, completing 72% of his throws. Yes, that Kaliakmanis. out of the bye. Bad beat for the anti-Vike.
Personal foul. Leverage. Defense number 96. Oh, wow. A 50-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
15-yarder. Oh, boy. So it makes a 60-yard field goal down to about a 45-yard field goal. The penalty is on Enyoma Owazurike. And this is much more manageable here for Spencer Schrader. This is a 45-yard try to win the game. No time left on the clock. Colts down by 2, 28-26. 45-yard field goal here. Sanchez to put it down. There's the snap. Kick is on its way. Headed for the uprights. And it is. It's good! A walk-off field goal. Spencer Schrader wins it for the Colts.
Colts radio.
Enyoma Owazurike.
Watch your language in front of the lady, punk!
Those ballyhooed Broncos are 1-1, and former Vikes project Daniel Jones, the quarterback, beloved Dimes, is 2-0 leading the Indianapolis Colts. The quarterback hasn't thrown a pick through 2 games. He's been sacked just twice and has 3 rushing touchdowns.
Can you repeat the part of this stuff where you said all about the things?
He ain't dimes. He's $1. Wait. Did Atlanta really run for more yards than the Minnesota Vikings had running and throwing in the same game?
I always love that one.
Dang it. Your call soon. 800-320-5326. Call now. Let's chat. Looks like Dallas has a clutch kicker.
Snap, hold, 64, and sweet butter. But don't hurry to re-sign the kicker, whatever you do.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Brad Sham and company.
Yeah, Brad Sham with some sweet butter and a side-winding diatribe that included a subtle shot at whomever runs the Dallas Cowboys. 64 yards. Wow. So this kicker, what's he going to do with the game on the line?
Good operation. 46, the kick. Wins the game. Butter. Extra butter. Cowboys win in overtime, 40-37.
Nordo, are you a fan of extra butter?
Sorry, I'm screening calls. Yes, I like butter though.
Are you a fan of extra butter?
Yes. Extra butter is all good anytime, especially when you're putting W's on the board on the foot of Mr. Aubrey.
As in butter. The Cowboys are 1-1. The Giants 0-2. Giants are a trickier beat than they were last year, but nevertheless, the record is what the record is. 0-2 for the Giants. Both teams played sloppily a fair amount of that game. And finally, Dan, the man with the plan, took it to his former OC.
4th and goal for the Lions from the 4. Goff takes the snap, fakes the give, rolls right, got a man wide open. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1, 2, 3 times today. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
And they were man-to-man. Nobody ran with Amon-Ra. Nobody covered him. I mean, that had to be a missed assignment from the defensive side of the ball, but we'll take it.
Dan Miller, Vox for the Detroit Lions, vast and ever-expanding audio network. Lomas Brown, the last voice you heard as the analyst. And that one had to feel really special for a new offensive coordinator, John Morton. Wow. Jared Goff, 334-5 with 0 picks and 0 sacks.
HOF.
Jared Goff, though. Wait, did our kid really get sacked 6 times against that no-rushing Falcons team?
I always love that one.
Come on, man.
Haven't they been one of the least sacking defenses in the NFL? Feels like 3-4 years now.
Now, they had 31 last year, and that was second worst in the National Football League. They had 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a game Tristan Wirfs did not play.
And then 6.
But that's why they drafted Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., a couple of first-round picks who like to bust booty from the edge.
They had a nice moment last night where Donovan Jackson is trying to chip and help on School's guy. And on that Pierce sack, Pierce loops inside, and Jackson just didn't have a chance. I don't know if he committed too far to the outside guy, but other than just getting a hand on Pierce, man, it was ugly up and down that thing last night.
I received a text from somebody last night talking about that very play, saying Donovan either was hopeless or helpless.
I always love that one.
And that was the second game for the rookie, so I guess patience are required.
That must have been the guy on hold on line one.
Anyway, Goff, 5 passing TDs. Gibbs and Montgomery scored, and Jameson and Amon-Ra went for 223 and 4. Take that, beloved BJ. 52-14 Lions, who are 1-1. Thank you, Hoffman Cooling and Heating. Thank you, HoffmanHeating.net. Scott Hendricks, thank you for your friendship. And thank you for believing in FM 100.3 KFAN and the 9 to noon presentation. 800-320-5326. 800-320-5326. Go on to give us a call. We'll go old school and to chat a little bit. We begin with David. Hello, David.
First of all, love the show. Absolutely love it. My thing, I just want your take on J.J. McCarthy. Do you think he's actually ready to play in the NFL with the horrible playing he's done through 8 quarters? That's all I got for you.
Thanks, bud. There's been inadequacy across the board for the most part, for some of the part, 7 of the 8 quarters. I think anybody around the National Football League would take his fourth quarter that he had at Soldier Field. After the interception, the pick 6 to former Viking Nashawn Wright on Monday Night Football, McCarthy responded by going 8 of 11, 95 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 picks, and he ran for 1. So, like Nordo said, copyright Led Zeppelin, we got good times, bad times. Raising kids has challenges. The answer is yes. I believe there is room for J.J. McCarthy in the National Football League. You know, there's something underlying with the first 2 games, and I can't exactly put my fat thumb on it as to why it's happening. Because like the Bears game, 3 and out, Caleb runs in, 3 and out, things are Parrish shaped, but the Vikings come back to win. And the sluggish nature of the early stages of the game is one thing. And I don't have the play count, like in front of me or anything, but it feels like the adversary's running 2-to-1 the amount of plays compared to the Vikings. I think through 2 games, the Vikings have run like 79 plays. Well, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, they had 46 last night. I can look at the Bears game here in just about 40 seconds. Here.
Yeah. So it's going to be around 79 or 80, which obviously limits opportunities to strike, to score, to negotiate terrain.
So they ran 49 in the first game. So that's 95 total plays.
All right.
Meanwhile, 63 and
there you go.
63, $126 for the adversary.
Jeez. So you're going to run on average somewhere around 60 plays a game. So their play count, the play total is down, and it's down rather significantly. From a passing standpoint, before 9 to noon commenced, I went through the first quarter and a half of J.J. McCarthy passes. There was a lot of running in the first quarter and a half. Lots of running in the first quarter and a half, but then there was lots of passing in the second half, and I'm looking forward to getting to that. On McCarthy's first pass, he threw left to Jalen Naylor. It was too low, but Naylor caught it for 2 yards. But we have a problem. If you look to the right, Aaron Jones, other side, wide open for a simple little swing that absolutely would have run the Vikings to a first down. All right, raising kids can be tough. Then they had a 3rd and 7, and it was a run to the +6, and then we get that 4th down bit. Not the +6, it ran 4-6. Then you get that 4th down botched exchange, Falcons ball after they lead 3-0. I'll go through some more of them a little later. It's interesting because teams play defense differently week by week. And this week you saw Divine Diablo, a linebacker, or Caden Ellis, their leading tackler. You saw somebody feign one thing and then drop back to the middle of the field, almost like he was part of a 3-4 hybrid and he was the floater.
I always love that one.
So there was a hybrid floater who I think was confusing McCarthy a little bit, just kind of floating around the middle of the field. That played into to some negativity that took place during the course of the game. But we have more of that to share from McCarthy's first handful of passes. Howard, good morning.
Good morning, PA. The two things that bothered me most of yesterday's game, one is they ran at will against us, and I know we're missing two linebackers, but they shouldn't be able to run that well.
Agreed.
And second, I'm wondering if Aaron Jones has just lost a step or that Mason is that much better. I think it's time for Mason to become the first back. I know the offensive line is banged up, so I really got to take the drop of salt on McCarthy's playing. But when you're playing with your third left tackle and a backup center and your number 2 wide receiver isn't there, I don't know how much you can expect from the kid in the second game.
Right. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you, Howard from Chicago. Bijan Robinson had mediocre games against the Vikings. I mean, maybe slightly above average. It's Tyler Algier that has been the proverbial thorn in the metaphorical side. He's played the Vikings 3 times. He scored each time. They get a nice little 1-2 there. But it's let's just be National Football League fans for a second, appreciating talent and gifts and everything, and put the allegiance to the purple and gold aside. I've watched a lot of Bijan Robinson during his career and had the privilege of calling 2 of his games. He's hit stride. Last year, he scored like 8 touchdowns in 5 games as Atlanta kept losing and losing and losing and losing and losing. And as I shared with the analyst Pete Bursich last week, sometimes it's tough to get a read on players who are big box scores for losing teams. But the way he slow rolls things to the line of scrimmage and patiently waits for the right hole, and then his burst when he puts the pedal to the metal is as good as anybody in the National Football League. The catching aspect with Robinson is definitely a threat, but defensively, you're down Cashman, you're down Van Ginkel. So the inherent belief would be, with those 2 down, you're going to need big replacement games from Ivan Pace Jr. and Dallas Turner. And can't completely speak for Turner, but Ivan Pace Jr. had some key whiffs on tackles early in the game, and they were arm tackles where he wasn't even making contact. So that was a little frustrating. And in allowing more than 200 rushing yards, as the Vikings did, they did that for the first time since week 2 of 2023, when birds of another feather ran for more than 200 at Lincoln Financial against the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to get into Talkback Central at about 10:03, free iHeartRadio app. You got that microphone and you 30 seconds to opine, and we would love to hear from you. It's a Monday. It's a reaction to all of the action Monday. That'll take place at 10:03. Bursich, the analyst, follows Talkbacks at about 10:17, 10:20. And when we return, Vikes Bites grace the airwaves of FM 100.3.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anababe, you never have to stress about messes again. At WashableSofas.com, discover Anababe sofas, the only fully machine-washable sofas inside and out, starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, our sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for cozy apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Over 300 channels, 0 bills. That's TiVo Plus. Curated movies, new series, and sports highlights. No credit card, no logins, just TV that gets straight to the good stuff. Grab the remote, press play, and start watching TiVo Plus. Free, binge-worthy, always on. Check us out at TiVo.com.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
KFAN.
Vikes Bites. Vikes Bites 9 to noon, brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. You can shop online. Box of meat shows up at your doorstep. You can also go to your local Coburn's and Kowalski's locations, local co-ops as well. They're proud sponsors of Gophers Athletics. Clearwater, Minnesota's finest. Love you, Thousand Hills. Head coach Kevin O'Connell speaking after the game last night. Oh, come on with this here. Okay. Finally getting the computer to operate like it's freaking supposed to operate. Here's the head coach talking about patience being a key word as part of the development of the QB.
This is going to be a process, for our team, and our young quarterback's going to, make some plays. He's going to, make some unbelievable throws, which a couple of those throws there that got us down to the 2 I thought were big time plays. And then other times he's going to, have an attempt and just miss something a little long, and we'll go back and try to fix it. But sometimes the fundamentals are going to be right, the techniques are going to be right, and he's learning on the fly right now. And there's the way you overcome that is by the full group's execution level being to a certain standard that we can go try to compete and win with.
Patience required, PA. Patience while we're raising a kid on the fly.
Well, the last thing he said, because Kevin will drop, he will drop croutons that lead you to the answer, which would be the verbal chef salad. And patience required. We know that raising kids, whether it's real life or football life, has challenges. And the last thing he said was he referenced the assemblage of the group that's around him as you're trying to raise him right now, and expectations or requirements are higher, and the standards are higher than perhaps what he's seen 7 of the 8 quarters of Vikings 1-1 football. But it's interesting with those who haven't seen the speed or seen the ferocity at this level. And that includes those who win national championships for like the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, go back and watch Quay Walker with the Georgia Bulldogs. Honestly, you would have thought he was Lawrence Taylor. But he gets into the National Football League, and, it's been a little bit of a process for Quay. He's getting better, number 7 for Green Bay. But what he did in college, he's not able to accomplish at the highest level. McCarthy, with some things that he did, he's pushing through, getting around some things that are required at the professional level. That beef eater for the Hawkeyes, that running back Caleb Johnson, I mean, he barely sees the field for the Steelers. I think he had -2 yards yesterday.
Did you see the bit that Caleb Johnson did on the kick?
No.
Where I believe once it lands in the landing zone, it's a live ball. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
He let the ball bounce back into the end zone for an opposing team's touchdown.
Oh, now he's not knowing. Oh, wow.
What am I saying?
He went Stacy Coley on it.
Opposing team. That was Seattle out there yesterday.
Yeah. Well, how about one of the stars of the preseason?
Stacy Coley.
There was a cat's booty conversational piece about a skill position rookie all preseason. The guy who, Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
All right. He returns the opening kick of the preseason, 100 yards for a touchdown. You got Brian Flores telling people during the joint practices, you guys hit on one with him, which I believe they have. His first game, his pass protection was so ridiculously bad that into the second game, He's now the third running back behind Ramondre Stevenson, who got the bell cow share, and Antonio Gibson jumped Henderson for playing time. Why? Because he knows the plays.
Yeah.
This thing ain't easy. All right? It's not plug and play with all of them. With some of them it is, but specifically from a quarterback situation, it's not plug and play, and patience indeed are required. But just contextually speaking, Johnson and Henderson are supposed to contribute and help terrifically.
Yes.
Henderson, he's helped more than Johnson, but it's interesting that Henderson, he and Ramondre, I think they split carries week one. Henderson might have gotten more touches.
And Ramondre got absolutely the lion's share of activity yesterday.
Correct. And now you got Antonio Gibson coming in before Travion Henderson because he knows the plays, he knows where the bones are buried, and that's okay. I mean, Henderson, McCarthy, Johnson, whomever, being Einstein-esque right out of the gate, it's preferred, and you got to know what goes into people not knowing what to do to deem whether it's acceptable or unacceptable. But this whole thing's hard, and some teams are seeing it with very, very gifted players, though.
Yeah, and we're kind of fighting it a little bit last night, just chatting with Ron about this. I'm just worried we're going to dig too deep into the weeds and start, okay, and I'm not saying this isn't something that KO should be doing, but as he continues to struggle and continues to grow, and I'm hoping that the growth is kind of the path this thing's go on. Watching every single drop back to see where the release point was or how long the windup is.
That's hard.
Yeah. Body positioning as it pertains to his front foot as he's throwing to his right versus his left.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
The nitpicking is going to get hard, man. It's going to get deep and it's going to get heavy.
Right.
And while the coaches are going to be responsible for figuring that out, and we've heard KO talk at length in many platforms and many spots about the platform of the QB and the fundamentals and the footwork and all that, I'm looking at a situation in which, as part of this kid's growth, what's in front of him, in particular the offensive line. Man, TJ Hawkinson's so overrated. He only had one catch for 12 yards, and that was late in the fourth quarter when the game was basically out of hand. I'm talking, there's something happening before that.
Yeah.
I'm watching it, and I'm seeing TJ open. I'm seeing Justin Jefferson open. I'm seeing Naylor beat his guy for a 72-yard touchdown. Something's happening before that. And so not just digging into the weeds of the footwork, what's happening around him is something that bears more investigation. And I'm excited to hear the head coach. And part of his, and the audio's freezing up on me on my side computer, but effectively the coach kind of alluding to, man, number 9's he's carrying this burden right now up this hill, this boulder. Ain't all number 9's fault is kind of, and that goes back to roster. And you got a roster that can win now. Well, I'd like to see that roster all on the field at the same time, please.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of stuff that's happening in front of him right now that I think is also helping to mitigate some of his success in these spots.
Well, with the Bears last Monday, a week ago, all right, I think Caleb Williams in his rookie year was sacked 68 times.
Yes, he was.
That's third most in the history of the NFL.
That's a lot.
David Carr was sacked, I believe, 78 times in his rookie year.
76 or 78, yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's go with 76 because that makes it even more pertinent. McCarthy's been sacked 9 times through 2 games.
Ooh.
Pasadena City College math gets me to the fact that if you extrapolate that through the course of 17, it's 76 and a half. He's on. I mean, is it going to happen? No. But it's on pace to set a National Football League record for sacks.
Yeah.
And 6 yesterday, 3 against the Bears. Goff took 0 sacks yesterday. So Dan, the man with the plan, Dan Campbell, came into the game being like, they can't rush the quarterback very well. They want to blitz, Dennis Allen, their defensive coordinator, but they're not really good at blitzing yet until they kind of replenish this roster.
Mm-hmm.
So they ain't going to touch my guy. And they didn't. And he went for 5-0. All right, well, that same bunch, granted at home, and that does matter, they got 3 on us. Falcons had 1 last week down a left tackle who is either close to as good or every bit as good as Christian Darrisaw in Tristan Wirfs, and they gave up 1 sack. All right, and I watched that whole game back. Baker was wiggling and moving all over the place. Baker Mayfield getting out of trouble, by the way. Sneaky good. Well, so now we fast forward to this week. McCarthy is sneaky good at getting out of trouble and wiggling his way to a good spot, but the Falcons change things. That's what happens in the week-to-week league. And I didn't see Caden Ellis, Divine Diablo, or Ebikadi, I think, 17. They dropped back to the middle of the field and just kind of stood there and hovered. And they were hovering there to take away. So McCarthy goes back. Naturally, the first look's probably going to be down the middle, simply because of where your eyes go.
Yeah.
Well, then you see that guy and you pause. And if you pause a beat against certain teams, down goes the quarterback. That's all part of the swivel-related process and the getting out of bad plays that have come in and the defense has changed. Again, it's not easy, but to whom much is given, much is expected. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
So fortunately, they're 1-1 with some of this stuff developing.
If I was going to do Nordo's numbers with my buddies at Zone Coverage, I might throw the number at you as, let's try this, 4. As in 4 possessions where the Vikings on first down ran for 6 or more yards. So in terms of how quickly can the QB grow, jury's out on that. Again, footwork, we're digging into weeds. I am curious about the adjustments that a Kevin O'Connell, he'll look at the Cincy film and he'll be like, what? Etienne and the Jaguars ran for $140 on these Bengals yesterday? Okay, let's peek at that a little bit. Where running backs only had 14 attempts last night. And we had in the first quarter that 3 and out. Jones runs for 7. We're dealing with a 2nd and 3, and we're punting. On the first interception play, it was Jones for 6 on first down. Another 3 and out. Jones for 8. We had a 2nd and 2, and we went 3 and out.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, we go 3 and out. Mason for 7 on first down. And then additionally, in that second half there, we remember Mason with the 18-yard. We had to convert that 4th down. Mason goes for 18. Walter Rouse just comes in, gets that holding penalty.
Yeah.
The run game was working specifically on early downs, and we're begging for these 2nd and shorts and 3rd and shorts, and then there was a short circuit. So I'm just interested to see, again, in the game of adjustments, how we build off of that, because you'll say didn't run for a lot of yards, didn't see the pop in those spots. Somebody, hey, has Aaron Jones missed a step? Actually, he was giving us a ton of love on first down, super productive yardage, and we were finding ourselves putting Ryan Wright on the field.
Yeah, again, I've only watched back a quarter and a half, but during the time that I watched, they ran a lot. And they ran a McCarthy keeper to the left that it worked a little, but it didn't completely work that well.
Yeah.
It was a complete boot keeper, and they thought he would run for the first down. He dove for it, and he barely missed. And then the next play, they go for it on 4th down, and you got the bad exchange, and Birds get the ball up 3-0. So, O'Connell, after the first game against the Bears, kind of preached to himself saying, I need to improve in certain facets, but, he mentioned something with the running game. And he said something akin to that last night a little bit, but not exactly as direct. Maybe we'll get into it tomorrow with X's and O's. 11 o'clock, 9 to noon style from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. Pete Bursich, analyst for the Vikings Radio Network. 15 minutes from now, we're going to fire up some talkbacks to the free iHeart audio app. Find the microphone and crush. You're listening to 9 to noon into the second hour at FM 100.3 KFAN.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at WashableSofas.com. Starting at just $699. Our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit WashableSofas.com today and save. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Over 300 channels, 0 bills. That's TiVo Plus. Curated movies, new series, and sports highlights. No credit card, no logins, just TV that gets straight to the good stuff. Grab the remote, press play, and start watching TiVo Plus. Free, binge-worthy, always on. Check us out at TiVo.com.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.